Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to build trust and banish imposter syndrome. Um, you know, trust. We live in kind of a time where there's kind of an epidemic of distrust, and the reason why is because so many people are making promises, and yet, there's often a gap between promise made and promise delivered. Now, if you make a promise and deliver on the promise, we call that integrity. We call that delivering the goodies. And I met a very successful man one time. He said, "What's the secret to success?" He said, "Deliver the goodies." Stephen M. Covey wrote a book called "The Speed of Trust," and he talked about the time between making the promise and delivering the promise. The longer that time goes on, the more that trust decays. And so we want to get really good at making a promise and keeping a promise. And if you make a promise and you can't keep the promise, or you're uncertain if you can make the promise, that's where imposter syndrome comes from. But we don't want to have imposter syndrome. We want to have absolute sales confidence. We want to have this absolute delivery confidence. And absolute sales confidence comes from knowing that what you are putting in front of the customer and demanding a fair price is absolutely going to be delivered every single time. If you know that you can make a promise and deliver on that promise, you're going to and if you can deliver every single time, you're going to have delivery confidence, and there's no room for imposter syndrome. So there's three parts to, assuring people that you can deliver. Number one is the mechanics. Do you have the mechanics in place to deliver? Number two is the model. And number three is, do you have the magic? And so if you have the mechanics that, if you got a, internal combustion vehicle car, you know that when you turn the key, the car is going to start, the mechanics work. Now, do I know that this model is going to help me solve my problem? Well, there's different models for different situations. So, if you are looking for a family car, but the salesperson's offering you a tractor, that's the wrong model. And then finally, we need to know that we have some kind of magic. And so, I make a promise that I help people start a business. I help transform employees into entrepreneurs, so that they never have to go back to that soul-sucking job. Well, how do I do that? Well, number one, I'm a business coach. The good news is I'm a coach. I have the mechanics in place. I've got the systems. But more important is I have a model. So this is my business happiness blueprint. And I know, so what I did is I make a promise to help you, become an entrepreneur. And by the way, this isn't just about my business, folks. This is about your business too. What's your model for delivering? If you're making a promise, doesn't it make sense that you can show a model that explains how and why you can deliver consistently? So in my model, it's all about, let's make sure you're in the right business in the first place. Let's take the time to do that. And then let's build a brand that represents what you stand for. And then after that, let's make sure you got your offer in place. And then after that, let's make sure you got your storytelling in place, and you're promoting to generate leads, and you're nurturing those leads, and you're filling your calendar with warmed up people, and you're closing sales, and you're making money. See, a lot of people think, how can you turn somebody into an entrepreneur? How can you make that promise? And the reason I can make that promise is because I know if you're in the right business and that you have branding down, and if you've got a good offer, I know if you have these 9 pieces in place, the model supports it. This is a delivery mechanism. So if we are, if we're looking at, green light, yellow light, red light, if you're in the right business and your branding is solid, your offer is irresistible, and it makes sense. If you're telling your story well, and you're promoting well, and you're nurturing well, if you're filling your calendar with people that are truly interested, you're closing sales, and you can deliver, then you're going to get the repeat business, the referral business, and all the testimonials and good stuff that comes with that. So again, absolute sales confidence comes from knowing that I've got the mechanics in place, I've got a model that can deliver, and I've got the magic. And I do have the magic. And it's kind of hard. It's more difficult to describe the magic than it is to actually experience the magic. And so let's talk a little bit about what these three things are. The mechanics is your particular way of something works or happens. It's the study of the organization of the forces at play to exert an effect on the outcome, the machinery or the working parts of something. The practical application of design, construction, and operation of a mechanism. So in coaching, we meet once a week and we work on your stuff. Now, what's the model? The model is a miniature conceptual representation. So this thing right here, this is my model. And it's a set of concepts that represents the process we go through, that simulates, it's the pattern or blueprint of something that we deliver. It's a description or analogy used to visualize something that cannot be or directly or easily be expressed. And what is the magic part? The magic is thing that has a special, mysterious quality, which makes it seem wonderful and exciting. A special talent or ability that is admired or considered very impressive. Something so wonderful, strange, or unexpected that it seems as if supernatural powers have caused it. Look, the work I do is a calling. What I want you to do, what I want you to take away from this is, number one, in your business, what are the promises you're making? Number one, do you have the mechanics in place to deliver on those promises? Do you have the model in place to deliver on those promises? And do you bring on magic? I promise you, if you do those things for your business, that you're gonna start having that ultimate sales confidence, that absolute sales confidence that I know I can make a promise and I can deliver on that promise. If you can demonstrate you have the magic, the model, and the mechanics, you're going to build trust. You're going to have that absolute sales confidence, and your imposter syndrome will dissolve and melt away. You will banish imposter syndrome for good. If you are somebody who wants to build a better business, if you are somebody who either is an employee that wants to be an entrepreneur and you don't know how, if you are somebody that just has a business already and you have a little bit of that imposter syndrome, if you feel like you're having a difficult time building trust with people, I want to invite you to reach out to me. Let's get on a call and discuss if or how I can help you. This is Joe Nicasio. You can build more trust. You can banish your imposter syndrome, and you do that by making sure that you make a promise, you can deliver on that promise. And when you make promises and deliver on promises, you will have absolute sales confidence, and you will banish your imposter syndrome once and for all. This is Joe Nicasio. God bless you. Have an amazing day.